So what is a modular computer and why is it better than a box store brand PC?
Great question, Mike. We get the answer in this week's Compute This.
Welcome back, the owner of Schrock Innovations, Thor Schrock.
Good
guys.
to see
Thor,
you.
thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Good to see
pleasure.
you. Modular, what is a modular PC?
It's a different concept to making a computer. So when you go to the store and you go to the box store and there's a whole row of computers and you're trying to pick out which one's the best one for you, every single one of those computers has a few things in common. One, they're all designed to be obsolete within 2 years. Now, obsolete.
That's a terrible way
Not
to
a
put
good
it.
design.
well, they're designed that way because you're buying a computer from a manufacturer that sells computers.
And they want to sell more after that.
You know, if the refrigerator makers could get away with selling you a refrigerator that died after 2 years, they probably would. I mean,
Yeah.
but with your computer, what happens is it's obsolete for a number of reasons. You know, one, obviously technology changes. And to be truthful, most of us in our computing lives every 2 years, our need for technology and speed does not obsolete our own computer. So most people don't go 2 years and say, I need a new, I'm kind of an example there. I'll get one every 6 months, but you know, every 2 years most people don't need to buy one.
Right.
But what happens is the components inside the computer, they put the bare minimum of components in the computer because they're making so many computers. If they can save a nickel, a dime, a quarter here or there per unit, it adds up to a lot of money over time.
But a modular PC.
A modular
what?
PC is designed to grow with you and your family. So in other words, as opposed to saying, this is the computer that you're going to have for 2 years and then we hope you come back and buy a new computer from us. When we sell you a computer, we want you to continue to use that computer for 6 years or more. Our holiday specials last 10 years in some cases.
But how can you? How does that work when my needs are changing?
Well, what we do is when we build the computer, we build it in such a way so that, you know, cooling fans, for example. A Dell computer has one fan and a little tunnel that winds all the way through and it pushes all the air through. We fan every component because you don't know the next component that comes out. When Mary comes in and says, you know, Thor, my needs have changed. I need a little bit of an upgrade, or the kids want to play a game and they can't because it's not fast enough. We can change a chip and we don't have to change a fan. And we picked out the right board so we could put in 2 or 3 different kinds of chips on day one as opposed to having a board specifically designed for only one chip.
So
Right,
instead
so-
of dropping $700, you're spending
A couple hundred. And
Got it.
you're in and out again for
Yeah.
another
Right.
few years.
So in the end, it's a better value.
It's a much better long-term value. Now, that's always been the challenge for us is, you know, it's going to cost you maybe $50 more to buy the computer from us, but you're going to save money in the long run. In the past few years, the cost of components has come down to the point where we are pretty much priced the same as a computer you would find at a box store, but you get to use it for such a longer amount of time. And even if you decide, you know, kind of like with your wig, you want to change it out once in a while, you're looking at that case on the
Yeah.
desk and it just looks kind of old and tired. You want
Yeah.
a new style. We can even change the case.
Yeah.
Are there some people that just feel more comfortable buying PCs from one of the big national companies as to oppose local companies?
In some
You know?
cases, there's
Have you seen that?
there's this expectation there. You know, it's HP, especially if someone has bought a computer from a smaller shop that has gone out of business, and then they're stuck with a computer that doesn't have a good warranty on it, things like that. One of the things that we actually do at Schrock is we obviously keep an eye on the other computer shops in town. When one of them goes under, we actually contact them and ask them if we can take over their warranties for them. I mean, we don't make any money, you know, obviously fixing things for free. And when computer shops are going under, they usually build really bad garbage. They're taking any part off the shelf they can put in to make a computer works or not. So we end up fixing a lot, but we get a lot of customers that way, and we can keep that trust in a local company because it can be tough. If someone gets burnt, it's hard to make them come back and try another local company no matter how good it is.
Yeah, talk to me about kind of paint a picture of who these computers are right for. Is it right for somebody who's in high school now and a parent wants to make sure that it lasts them through college? Is it right for somebody who just uses it for email and general web surfing? You know what I'm saying?
yep.
Like, because when you go to buy a computer at a big box store, you kind of think about how you're going to use it.
Well, you know-
so with modular.
You know, honestly, that's the last thing people think of when they buy a computer at the box store. When people buy, they've done studies, when people buy computers at the box store, they look at the tags and they compare hard drive capacity. None of our customers ever fill their hard drive. I mean, of course, there's going to be someone who, Thor, I fill my hard drive. I had to upgrade it last week, you know. But you know,
Right.
most of the vast majority of our customers
Yeah.
don't come anywhere near close to filling it. They compare the memory, the amount of memory, and then they compare the speed of the processor, which is hard to do now because the number of gigahertz isn't a measure of how fast it is anymore. And so they look at these cards, and then the sales rep at the box store has no more information than what's on the cards. Well, at Schrock, what we do is we start off the conversation with, what are you going to use it for? Inevitably, people say, internet, email, word processing, maybe some light gaming like solitaire. You know,
That's really light
that's
gaming.
really light gaming, but they consider that light gaming. So,
Yeah.
so what we do is we say, okay, for you, we have a model, an X4 model, which is our entry model. It's modular, so we'll start you in the X4, and then let's say the grandkids start coming over and they want to play, Diablo 2. Well, the X4 is not going to do too hot on Diablo 2. It wasn't built to run higher-end video games. So let's go ahead, bring it back in, put a video card in it, maybe change it out from an X4 to an X6 or an X8, and you're up and running with a brand new computer that has much more capability than the original computer, but you only paid a fraction of what you would have paid to buy the entire new machine.
Yeah, and it sounds like you can keep the modular computers longer because you can put more of what you need into them later.
It's like Legos for big boys.
Right, so how does it compare to the PCs that you buy at some of the big brand name stores compared to the modular computers
Well,
you
the
guys
computers at the big brand stores, they're keyed to only support one processor. They only have enough memory slots for the amount of memory the manufacturer wanted to put in. So even when you have to upgrade the memory, a lot of times you can't. If you want to upgrade the processor, you can't. If you want to change out the hard drive, you can do that usually, because that's just a component in and out. But everything inside, if the main board inside of an HP or a Dell goes bad, they all have custom connections from the front of the case. You can't just replace the board with any other board. You have to get the board from HP, and HP knows if you're buying a new board, you're not buying a new HP, so we're going to charge you 3 times the going rate for a motherboard.
So how long do they last? The
Average box store computer lasts about 2 years, average Schrock modular about 6 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
so that's quite a difference.
Does it sound like he's speaking a different language? Because
I try not
understand-
to.
Did you tune out for a second?
I know, I didn't, but I feel like for some people it's hard to follow, like the board talk.
That's
and
exactly what
what's a
happens when you go to
board,
the
what is all
box
this
store.
stuff.
You know, you're saying, okay, how many gigahertz, megahertz? Whereas we have 3 base models of desktop computers
Right.
at Schrock. We have the X4, the X6, the X8. X4 is entry, X8's king of the hill. So X6 is a nice happy medium if you're not sure if you need the X8, but you know the X4 is not going to cut it,
Yeah.
we put you in an X6.
I'd
if you
go
take it
X8.
home,
X8.
X8 is
every,
amazing.
every day of the week I go X8. Check it out. Schrock Innovations right there. 934-9423. SchrockInnovations.com. Of course, 3
That's
locations around the
hilarious.
metro.
that should be our
and
new
Lincoln, Nebraska.
tagline. Are you an X8?
I know. Listen, Papillion, Lincoln as well. Thor, it's great to have you back.
Thank you, guys.
I
I've worked hard to get out of
understand
a 2X. I can't imagine an X8.
Right, X8. Thanks a lot for
Between
coming
the
in. We
two of
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah, at the top of the show, we announced we're giving away some tickets to see New Edition. If you
That's
missed those details, no sweat. We've got all the information you need posted online at OmahaMorningBlend.com. Just click on contests and giveaways. And still ahead this morning, Military Appreciation Day and the cause supported by one event locally here.
Plus a deck makeover in just a weekend. Our next guest said, hello, Paul. He says it's possible. We're going to chat with Paul LaFrance about giving our backyards a boost. Next.